Practicality is the relationship between the available resources and the required resources that are needed to take a test. According to Brown in 2004, he mentions four aspects that need to be considered. First of all, the cost is that a test shouldn't be too expensive to take or too expensive to create, or vice versa. The time is like a test cannot be too long or too short. So, for example, a placement test cannot last like 15 hours and also like 2 minutes. With the administration, we also have like the human resources, and it's that the person who is taking the test, well, not taking, but conducting the test, needs to have at least a little knowledge of what is being taken. And also, the test shouldn't be too complicated or too simple to conduct. And finally, the scoring, which is like it's related to time because the score shouldn't take like 15 hours again. And then it also relies on the idea that it needs key answers or rubric to help with the scores. Reliability is the consistency in results. It means that the results need to be almost the same or maybe the same if the test is taken in different occasions. For example, here you have scores on test A and scores on test B, which were taken on different days and got almost the same results. Types of reliability are learner related, which deals with physical and psychological situations that affect the learners to give their best. The interrelated, which is the inconsistency on some grading because of maybe a scoring criteria inconsistency or biases or maybe inexperience or inattention. And the intrarater, which is again inconsistency on the scoring, but because of the teacher fatigues or maybe some criteria that is not okay. Then we have the test administration, which deals with the conditions of the test where it's being taken. So it deals with lighting, maybe the condition of chairs, desk, if there is enough a volume or not. And the test reliability, which deals with the idea that a test is practical, and if it's like too short, too long, if it fits the time, and all of these things. Validity is measuring what has to be measuring. So, content validity is a test having the correct structure for in a specific topic. So, for example, a listening test needs to have listening exercises, and a reading test needs to have reading exercises. Criterion validity deals with the concurrent validity, which is the results are supported by the performance of the students, and the predictive validity, which kind of like assesses and predicts the performance and the future of the performance and success of the student. The construct validity talks about the results that represent the ability of the students within their construct. The consequential validity, it's kind of like what consequences in the society this test has and how we use the test and a specific task for a specific purpose. And the face validity, which is kind of like just looking at the test and checking if it measures what has to be measured. Authenticity relies on the idea that the test is focused on the real world and that it can be applied on real life context. According to Brown 2004, he mentions that the language in the test needs to be as natural as possible. The items need to have a context. The topics have to be meaningful for students. There should be a thematic, maybe like a story, and that these tests can represent or some real world task, like the task and the test can represent some real world task. The washback or the backwash effect, these words can be like interchangeable, is an effect that it's not necessarily the result of something. So it's not like, for example, we do something and then we have a result, and this result is the washback effect. In fact, the washback effect is just like the influence that testing has on the teaching and the learning process. And this influence can be positive or negative depending on the test.